because she's awesome. I was gonna say something like, hey, our next Mighty Fine Poet isn't just a mighty fine poet, she's a mighty fine person too. Because I fucked up at Denny's last week. After an event that we won't mention because it happened back when the replacement refs were still in town.
Yeah.
And Nikki was like, oh man, I could use some bacon because that would be great. And I was already at Denny's getting some shakes, which were delicious. And they weren't like, hey man, here's your shakes, where's our money? They were just like, here's your shakes. And I was like, that's cool. Because I thought maybe I'd already paid. I couldn't remember. It was a whirlwind. It was a fucking whirlwind, hogs. But when they found out that I hadn't paid for my shakes, they went up to this lovely person who seemed as though she knew me because I was sitting at her table talking to her and her friend. And they said, do you know that dude? Because like he still owes us money for shakes. And instead of saying we're gonna call him and make him drive all the way the fuck back here and make him pay for his shakes, she just said, hey, I'll take that shit and I'll pay for the shakes. So please welcome a mighty fine poet and a mighty fine person, Nikki.
Where's my shakes, Nikki?
God damn it.
Show us your shake.
My milkshakes always bring the boys to the yard. And yes, they're like it's better than yours.
Oh! I'm sad now.
That was Khalees. Alright, for the real poetry now. I've got two. This first one. Kind of an inspiration, but I don't know. I've been inspired to write lately, but this one, much like Jimbo and Sarah's former Ella, I had an Ella of my own. And one of our members, one of my former roommates, has been struggling a lot lately, so, you know, I was inspired to write a little something about my Ella. It's called Everyone Has Their Own Ella. Everyone has their own Ella. Mine just happened to be located elsewhere in this godforsaken town. 815 North 10th Street. Kappa Nu Tau, as we like to call it, aka KNT. Yeah, don't take too long to think about that because you might hurt your drunk brains. KNT. Got it? Okay, alright, we're good. We were 7 cunts strong, and it was love at first sight when we walked through that door. Yeah, that's right. A college heaven equipped with a worn front porch, a dilapidated side patio where we often smoked our weed, a dining room with hardwood floors that were covered in stale beer stains and sticky liquor remains where our infamous beer pong tournaments played out. It was where I learned to grow up. To love, to effectively express my anger toward another human being, to laugh, to cry, and so on. It's where I discovered my one true literary love. It's where I learned to skip class and enjoy it, and at the same time, it's where I learned the meaning of working my ass off. I had 5 jobs. It was pain. It's where I learned, the stress of getting laid off and the pain of getting fired. It's where I learned how to throw killer parties while slamming beers to Mac Lethal and Mickey Avalon. Yeah.
You can do that?
I can. It's where I had my first one-night stand. And so on. KNT will forever hold a special place in my heart, mostly because it taught me the meaning of what a real family should be. Just a bunch of girls, all exploring their own way, their own sexualities, their own metaphysical meanings in existence. And yet, no matter what, despite whatever drama, we always had each other's backs. We all didn't know it then, but KNT would forever change the way we lived our individual lives. For some of us, it was a sacred home away from home. For some of us, it was coming out to our barely tolerant Christian families. For some of us, it was a test of our individual ideals. For some of us, it was a road to a secret happiness we never thought possible. And for some of us, It was monumental in discovering the existence of true, unadulterated, and all-consuming love. It's where I found mine. Well, more like mine found me when he stumbled through my door one bitter, cold New Year's Eve, where she found hers and lost it again, and where she found hers in so many ways, and where she learned to accept hers, and so on. 815 North 10th Street, KNT as we so lovingly called it. A place the seven of us can still wish we called home, but at the same time, we know it would never be. So instead we treasure it, this ever so fleeting memory, and every once in a while we all talk about that one time at KNT, or about how much we miss what more it could have been. But most of all, we still talk. The most sacred gift my Ella could have ever given to me.